We've driven some seriously extreme cars on this programme. We entered a hill climb in the ultra-lightweight Ariel Atom 500. We went underwater in a car based on a Lotus Elise. And we've raced all manner of motorsport vehicles, from rallycross to rally trucks and even F1 cars. And what I'm going to drive today is right up there with the most extreme fifth-gear tests of all time. This is the Bowler EXR. It may look like a Range Rover, but it is much, much, much more. It costs, are you sitting down, £174,000.
It really feels unbreakable. It's big, it's noisy, it's powerful, it's sturdy, and yet underneath it feels as agile as a racing car, despite the fact that it's as tall as an SUV. I have never been in a vehicle quite like this before in my life.
So, what exactly is a Bowler EXR?
Well, Bowler is an English company that's been making Land Rover-based rally vehicles for about 25 years for some of the world's toughest endurance races, like the Dakar, where they'll be going across deserts and over mountains at monumental speeds for days on end.
How does a humble Range Rover Sport become a six-figure monster? There have been plenty of modifications to help justify the huge price tag. A high-strength roll cage, competition harnesses and seats, emergency hammers, sand ladders, and as a £3,500 optional extra, an automatic hydraulic jack system that allows you to get out of holes and make quick repairs on the go. Not to mention the 385-litre fuel tank, which, despite doing a lowly 10 miles to the gallon, will go 435 miles between refuelling in competition. And because the drivers can't last that long between fill-ups, they carry 2 jerry cans of water here and here. Despite all that equipment, the EXR weighs in at under 2 tonnes, helping to make it as agile as it is rugged.
Characteristics are more like that of a rear-wheel drive car. 60% of the grunt is going to the back tyres. Fortunately, the steering is really light, so you can sling it around in your hands. Woo! The combination of a low centre of gravity, a long wheelbase and a wide track all help to keep it stable. However, I'm currently on sand tyres. I'm on a gravel surface and it's been raining heavily, so my level of grip is pretty poor. I can pretty much feel every pebble that I go over, and each corner is telling me different things. The suspension is so clever. The ride, however, on the rough stuff is still pretty shocking. And of course you've got that awesome noise of the V8 just grunting and growling as you make it work. There's a huge amount of heat coming from the front end as well. I don't know how they cope up to 10 hours at a time in a Dakar.
On endurance rallies like the Dakar, this car will be expected to spend a fair bit of time airborne. So if I'm going to test it properly, I need to jump.
So up into third gear. Oh, Struth! I shut my eyes, the car just drove on. Down into second, through the water. Water everywhere. Wicked. Woo! And I'm treating it like it's just a toy. But it's asking me to treat it like that. I am absolutely exhausted. And the car has barely broken into a sweat.
Bowler expects to sell 6 of these made-to-order machines a year. It's also making a road-going version, the EXRS. It'll have even more power thanks to a supercharged Jaguar V8 with 558 bhp. After seeing what the race version can do, that is one vehicle I would highly recommend. It's a supercar of sorts, just bigger and better in many ways. That, without a doubt, is one of the most exciting cars I have ever driven.
This is the Duke R. a mutant prototype supercar from Nissan. There are only 2 in the world, and each cost nearly £500,000 to build.
You know, it certainly feels quicker, a bit more lively. The best bit for me is the engine. It's got a real grunt, over 6,000 revs. It's very well set up.